So recently I caught up with an old friend and she was telling me that she got divorced. And I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay at home mom. We had 3 kids and I just got lonely and bored. And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She just felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her. And she had other friends that had, boyfriends, or like they had just got married and they were always going out.
That's a big no-no right there. I mean, honestly, if you've been married, I'm going to say for over 10 years, 20 years or whatever, and now you're choosing friends that are newlyweds, that can cause a problem in your life. Anybody who's ever been married for over 10 years understands what I'm talking about. Anybody who's ever been in a relationship for over 5 or 10 years knows what I'm talking about when you're befriending somebody, a couple that just got together. Like, they are in couple paradise. I don't know if that's a right thing to do for you to invite these people into your life. You know what I mean? Because of course they're going to do cool things when they first meet. Of course. Everybody does. You know what I mean? I'll let the video finish. I won't interrupt anymore, but let's just let it play.
On vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, they had a big house, they had nice things. Like, he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced, and now, she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I fucking hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club. They just want to go to the bar. They just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was so confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you're single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids. And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, he already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that responsibility? I was just giving her a hard time, not gonna lie, because it was kind of funny to me, because I was like,
All right, I heard enough. Like, I wanted to scream at certain parts of the video. Look, marriage is hard. It's a business. And it isn't easy. But divorce is worse. Like, going through a divorce, man, it's just terrible. It affects everybody. Your friends, your family, your children, obviously. In some aspects, I almost feel like divorce is worse than cancer, because you're living with this pain and you have to see your children grow up and they're living with the pain. And it's just, it's, in my opinion, it just eats you up slowly and then slowly spits you out and then you die. And then that's it. You know, maybe it's not worse than cancer, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I don't recommend divorce for anybody, man. I've been through it. It's tough. It's not easy. But what I will say, I do disagree on some parts of the video. For example, and before I get to the taking care of somebody else's kids, I don't agree with a man finding a woman just because he has children that he needs to find somebody who has children so they can kind of be on the same page. No, absolutely not. You can go out there. If you want to create another family, you can do that. I just think that sometimes guys tend to feel maybe, I don't know, maybe lazy, or maybe that this is, they perceive somehow that this is the only thing they can get. They can only get a woman with children, or maybe their finances doesn't allow them to find another woman with no children to be able to support that. I mean, there's multiple reasons why. It's kind of a nuanced subject, but personally, I'm not taking care of another man's kid, especially if they're small children. I could see possibly moving in with somebody or shacking up with somebody where the kids are of age. And what I mean by of age, out of the house of age. They got their own job of age. All right. But man, anything less than 21 is a problem for me personally. So yeah, we're not going to do that. I think that men are simple. Men are not like women. And when a woman decides she wants to leave a man because she's bored, because she's a stay-at-home wife, as if that's not a job in itself, because it is. Being a stay-at-home mom is a massive job today, especially. And I think it's a noble job for a woman to be a stay-at-home mom. So I think women today are just too busy looking at the internet. Honestly, that's all it is. They're too busy looking at the internet and comparing their life, which appears to be a great life. Apparently, according to a friend, they had a big house, few kids. He worked. You know what I mean? He's paying the bills. She's a stay-at-home mom. Like, they were doing everything they had to do. I mean, they were thriving. But because she wasn't going out and she wasn't being stimulated at some level in her life, maybe the kids weren't enough stimulation for her, she decided to go ahead and divorce the dude. Well, when you divorce a man is only going to bounce back after a certain amount of time. A man is going to bounce back. He's going to find somebody that fits the mold that he's looking for. And eventually, he's going to marry this person, or he's going to be with this person, possibly have some more kids, and live life happily ever after. Why? Because men are simple. We're black and white. If the square fits into the square, we're good. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. You don't have to be 6 feet. You don't have to have a set of six-pack abs. You don't have to make six figures. We just want you to be feminine, pretty, respectable. We don't want you in our ear all the time arguing with us about nonsense. We don't want that. We're just basic human beings. All right? Men. I'm talking about men. We're very simple creatures. So we can bounce back like that in the blink of an eye. I don't know. I just think that this testimony of hers, which I hope her friend gave her permission to speak about it, because that would be wrong if she didn't, unless she's just making this stuff up. But if she did, this is common, man. And it's been common for decades. And it's always wanting what the Joneses have, in my opinion. It's always wanting what other people have. Oh, I want to live my best life. I'm young. Maybe they got together at a young age and maybe she feels her youth slipping away. You know, like these are the things that ultimately end marriages. When you find somebody to have children with, you get married, but ultimately they're unstable. This is why it's so important to ask the right questions when you're trying to find your wife. You got to ask these right questions, man. Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do you want to work? Like, in my opinion, this is why I feel women should have a job. And it's awesome today that women get to have these stay-at-home jobs, the ones that still exist. If you have a stay-at-home job, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, man. So I don't know. What say you? I'd love to see your comments, your opinions. Leave it all in the comments. I'm going to drop the link to her video, so that way if you guys want to watch more of her videos, you can. And I'll put that in the link in the description. And yeah, let's hear what you have to say. I'll see you on the next one.